Hello and welcome to the Land of Reiki and Aroma channel. My name is Sol and don't forget to subscribe. See you next video.
Hello to you and welcome to the Land of Reiki and Aroma channel. We are in our third episode of the series Discover and Complementary Therapy. In the previous episode, we talked with Juliana Alves, specialized in EFT. And today we have our special guest, Talita Margonari Lazzuri from Brazil. And she is a CEO manager of the Florais de Saint Germain, specialized in flower essence therapy. And she is with us today to talking about flower essence. And welcome, Talita. It's a pleasure to have you for this episode. And please introduce yourself and to the people to welcome you.
Thank you, Sol. It's a pleasure to meet you here. Well, I'm an architect, art therapist, flower essence therapist, and I love to work with the nature, with the plants, flowers, to rescue our real nature, what we are as a being. So I started working with flower essence as a volunteer at the Unifesp, University of São Paulo, with kidney transplanted patients, because they are expecting from me a kind of attention, like here with humanity the other, because our how can I say, public healthy public system, the doctors are so full of work. They don't have much time to talk with the patients, so they expect the volunteers that were working with integrative practice to do that. So that was my school, where I learned a lot about emotions, about symptoms, about biography of life. So was an amazing, how can I say, beginning for me.
Okay, wonderful, wonderful. Very well, very good. Thank you for introducing yourself and give a little bit about you. And as I did in the objective of this series is really to clarify the subject we are going to talk. So at this time, as you are and as a flower essence therapy, I would like to ask you what it is flower essence.
Well, the flower essence is an information, an energy pattern of nature that acts in our informational field. We are matter and energy. And the interaction of our vibrational frequency with the vibration of the flower essence activates our all inner strength to return to balance, to return to health, to rescue salutogenesis. The interesting things that each flower, with its physical and developmental characteristics, for example, the way that the plant grows, the way it develops with the plants beside it, give us the perception of the strength of intention, of action of that flower essence. For example, if I am a very shy person who finds it difficult to express myself, to speak, I can appropriate the potential of a pattern of the flower essence in a plant, the plant pattern of energy. So dependent, I can see like a plant in a forest growing, a lot of suffocating environment. So I can use this pattern of the flower to help me to express myself, because this plant in the middle of the forest find the ways to throw its, how can I say, seeds to flourish. The plants develop inner forces to do that. So using a flower essence with the same pattern of that plant, of that flower, I can develop these forces in myself. Okay, that's the way. I don't know if could be easy to understand.
No, I understood. It's very clear in that, because you appropriate that quality that the proper flower developed during many years. That if she could do that, we could appropriate, as we are so close as biology, close to the plant. Because if I'm not wrong, we have just one thing that in our cells in comparison to a cell from a plant. So we don't do photosynthesis. It's the only difference between our cells and the plant cells. So we are very close in terms of biology. So it will be more easy for us to receive that quality and work on ourselves. That another type of fake chemistry.
Yes, we start to develop a virtue.
Yeah, a virtue, exactly. And can you tell a little bit about Florais de Saint Germain and when you start this?
Yes, Saint Germain flower essence. It's a Brazilian flower system where the vast majority of the flowers are harvested in the Atlantic forest. Okay, who developed the system was my mother, Neide Margonari. Her consciousness expansion process began in 1990. She went through several processes of change, such as meditating 3 times a day, becoming a vegetarian, separating from my father and becoming celibate. So naturally, after 3 years, after a lot of cleanings, inner cleanings, she started to tune the flowers. It was a natural process. She comments that she feels a magnetic attraction to the plant, to the flowers, and she feels physically and energetically this interaction, and she started to connect all the virtues, qualities, and properties that this flower could develop in us or bring us qualities, because it's something very subtle. This system started in 1996 with 45 flower essences. Today we have 89 flowers. Yes, 89. I was thinking if there are no 89 flower essence. Yes.
Okay. And what is because we know the Bach flower remedies are well known worldwide, and Dr. Ba was as you say, is the father of the flower essence. And what is the main difference between the Bach flower remedy and the Florais de Saint Germain?
Well, for us, Dr. Bawa is the pope of the flower essence therapy. The laws he left are universal laws, and they must be followed. So we honor and we follow the precepts of Dr. Ba. Mainly in the preparation of the flower essence, we believe the main difference between these two flower systems is the geographical location of the plants in each system. We have different flower essence, different, how can I say, issues?
Yeah.
Goals? Yes. So, and also I think that thinking in the therapist, when we start to choose flower essence in these two systems, Dr. Ba's systems, the focus of he gives a deep look over to the temperament of the person, of the others. So Saint Germain flower essence, we look for causal situations, suffering correlations, and also the biography of life. But I think it's more the different is the geographical point of the plants, and also how to choose the flower essences.
Because they can be mixed very well. I think, in my opinion, any system can be, because in the end they are flowers. Flowers is flower.
Yes.
When we make a bouquet, when we are going to the shop and I know I would like to mix rose with daisies or daffodils, no, doesn't matter. We can always bring a beautiful bouquet of different flowers from different places on earth, and always will be combined very well, you know.
Yes.
And as you mentioned before, it was my next question. Where do the flower comes from? You just did you answer that is from the Atlantic forest.
Most flower essences are found in Atlantic forest, but many of them are exotic, not originally from our flora, such as the apple that was introduced in Brazil in early 19th century. So we also have tree flower essence tuned out of Brazil, like wild oat, tuned in Portugal, Sagres, of city of Sagres, and we also have the Abbé de Lourdes, made in Lourdes, France, and it's made with the water of the Basilic of Lourdes, the water of the Basilic. And also we have Oliva de Fátima, made with the flower of the Oliveira, olives, from olives, yes, from Fátima, Portugal. Also prepared with the water from the Basilica. So, but most are from the Atlantic forest.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And what is the science behind this therapy?
Wow, that's a very, very hard question. But okay, I think thinking about flower essence, the most difficult thing is to be able to measure the energy contained in the flower essence, because there is a very subtle energy that's related to biophotons. Okay, so we do not have equipment to measure this vibration of frequencies of flower essence, but we already have equipments to measure the change of the bioenergetic field of our body, okay, according to use of the integrative and complementary practice in health. So specifically when we use practices that act in the vital fields, like flower therapy, Reiki, acupuncture, homeopathy, aromatherapy. In these cases, we can measure how our energetic field changes using this others practice. Okay, so because when we use a kind of pattern of information, a vibrational pattern of information that comes in our energetic field, and we start to change emotional, mentally. So, but we could measure this energetic field.
Mm-hmm. So you can measure before and after, as we say.
Yes, before and after. And also, I think the psychologists,
Psychology.
uh, yes, with their scales of questions to do some, how can I say, pesquisas,
Research.
research. Yes, we can use a lot of their scales, psychological scales, to understand, to see the difference after and before the use of this practice, because all the time we are we look for wellness, quality of life, so we could measure that to understand uh, the, how this therapy act in us. But it's very hard to say the science behind this therapy,
Yeah,
because we are,
it's
yes,
quite, for example, it's quite hard, but not so hard when you someone go to do attend to a therapist like a psychologist and sessions and everything. They can measure if they have a progress in that, I don't know, that situation, a trauma or any kind of emotion that is other than limit, like anger or sadness or grief. Uh, if the time passed, that therapy will bring to no, now you are feeling better than you were before. I think that can be the same thing in terms of observation of the person change, because the proper say, well, I start to take flower essence, and after a few weeks I feel much better. So
yes.
it's that improvement that is very hard for us at the moment, maybe in the future, to have a really like equipment that you can, okay, let me have a look at how hungry you are. So I put it like a and you
Yes,
is
but
that
we have some equipments. I went international congress of how can I say, alternative medicine in Mexico. They have a lot of equipment that they measure our fields, and we have, if we have any different pattern of emission in any point of our body, they say we have a block and a problem in the
correct?
kidney or in the liver. They could say that with these equipments. I don't know how. I don't know. I never use it to say that it's great or not, or good or not. But they could do that.
Oh, okay. uh, so in Brazil, do the health system accept flower essence as a part of the health system or not? How is this have been? Because this
Well,
question is quite important, because
yes.
our audience is out of Brazil, so the people from probably United States or here that in England, they at the moment they start to open the doors for us in terms like to accept, like for example, Reiki in the hospitals and try to hire people to go over there and offer the therapy. How is it in Brazil? How is the flower essence is for the health system?
Well, in Brazil, we have a great support from the government, from the, how can I say, health.
It's a health system, no?
Health system, yes. In 2018, the flower essence therapy was included in the national politic of integrative and complementary health practices. Okay, so today we have 29 integrative practices, and no longer you can found at the health system some points that offer some of this 29, not the 29 practice, but because it depends of the manager, the health system manager of each city. They choose what they are going to offer. And here in Brazil, we no longer use the term alternative medicine, because here the intention is not to give another treatment alternative, but maintain the traditional treatment and offer something more, add an integrative approach to where the focus is on health promotion and not the focus on the disease. So the health ministry, they are doing some groups of study about how can I say, on the focus of research in integrative practice. So I am working with them in this, how we can implement more research in this area, because we need to research. So we have groups of scientists to help to find the best way to do that.
Yeah, because this the research is very important to do it, because it brings more science and more proof, because we need it. Otherwise the problem will go to another route that is not the right thing in terms of to proper to give you more um, um, like really confidence for the person that is used. Otherwise, you think, this is not, doesn't do nothing, doesn't have no proof whatsoever, and how it's just a placebo and all this. So it's very important, really. And does the Florais de Saint Germain offer which type of training if somebody would like to become a therapist, flower essence therapy?
Okay, we have different types of training. One is the basic and intensive course. We teach the therapist to use the flower essence as a therapeutic tool. So you could be a therapist working in the health system or with other health practice, and you learn to use the flower essence as another tool to improve your therapeutic process. But we also have, because a lot of people that come to our courses, most of them, they are flower therapists. They start with bath flower essence, okay? So they just improve and with this other flower system. But also we have some courses that help the therapists to open, to grow their perception of the others. like when you start to listening the other with your soul. So we have the practical workshop to, I don't know if it's the same word in English, anamnese.
Yeah, it's just yes, exactly.
Yes, you start to hear the other, to listen the other, and start to understand the causes. So that's one kind of course. But we also have the bioenergetic physiology that we could um, see the other person through their symptoms, because the symptoms reveals about the personality. The symptoms bring some learnings, so we can understand the other through their symptoms, through their biology. Okay, this is the bioenergetic physiology course give us this perception. And also we have another course, I don't know how to translate the septemios of the anthroposophia.
I think is the is quite strange to translate really, but it's basic on
The
the
cycles of the 7 years
that the
of
cycles
the
of 7 years. I think that
of the
is
anthroposophy. So during each cycle, we have some, how can I say, challenges. So we could, during, depending of the challenge, we could find the cycle of 7 years, what's happening, changes that I must do in my life. So we could perceive, grow our perception during the cycles of life, 7 and 7 years. So I think it's very interesting because I think one problem of the therapists is to start to, how can I say, to mirror yourself in the other. And this is a problem because you have to hear the other, to listen in the other, sorry, to understand exactly his feelings, his sorrows, his challenges, okay? And with his words, you understand and you choose the best tools to help him to follow his path.
exactly, and as the listen is very important too, in terms that I am here now with you and I'm listening what you are saying, and we can really be also be there for the person, and really with the trigger some words that the person say, the phase of the life that they are, the background, the biography of their life. We can really pick up the flower essence that will be when the person say something, say, oh, of course is that one. Okay, is a part, I think, from the whole universe of the humans, that when you assess that kind of database of information, that despite you have your own life, your own history, we share common uh, words and actions.
There is a kind of exercise that we do in the middle of the forest between two persons, an exercise to start to listen the other. One in front of you start to, he choose in the forest one plant, one one arbol, I don't know, and the person started to describe this plant, and the person beside start to look the entire forest, and the challenge is to find the plant that the person describing. So the exercise to say exactly the things as they are, and also to hear, to listen what the others is talking is very interesting there.
Bring a lot of focus, and you become more sharp, and when you get to the things and everything. Lovely, wonderful. We can talk here for a long time, incredible. And
Yeah.
if the people would like to contact you or Florais de Saint Germain, what is the channel that they can use?
Well, I have an email, Talita, I
At
don't know how,
at
at fsg.com.br. And also we have our website, how can I say, www.
uh,
dot fsg.com.br. BR is the Brazil, from Brazil. And I think you could found a pattern of flower essence. They are very spiritual, how can I say,
yeah,
helping us in this process of, how can I say, we have a pattern of personality, and our process to be more illuminated, how can I say, we could, uh, how can I say, start to our frequency, leave our frequency with higher vibrations, and flower essence help us to
raise
change.
that to
Yes,
raise the vibration.
yes,
Uh,
the vibration.
and if you have a channel in YouTube, and I normally follow your channel in the YouTube.
Ah, yes, we have a YouTube channel, Florais de Saint Germain, it's in Portuguese. And also we have a lot of, with your help, we have a lot of videos with
With titles.
English subtitles. Yes, it's great to hear a little bit about us, how the flower essence acts, how we can manage our emotions, our feelings, because depending on what you are feeling, you have a kind of actions, okay? So you could be very, how can I say, uma pessoa muito, assim, responsiva.
The response quick.
Yes, all the time, just fighting with life. Or we could receive that, manage it, and do your movement with your time, not feeling bad inside with sorrows, anguish. No. Um, we maybe I'm thinking here, maybe in one moment we could do some. I love to mix some integrative practice, like art therapy, flower essence, aromatherapy. Maybe in one moment we could work a little bit, do a kind of process experience here online with art therapy in this practice to work like sorrows, injustice. So we
Oh,
can,
would be great. It would be
yes,
wonderful. Very good.
let's
Very
do
good.
it. Yeah.
So thank you so much for you to accept our invitation, and I hope to see you next time here. And for you that we are watching us, please leave your comment, or if you'd like to have a question for us, fire. Okay. So see you next time. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye bye.